First of all, I want to thank you for making the time to improve yourself and caring about your financial situation. In this course, we will cover 4 sections. First is the mindset shift. Second, we will jump into your specific scenario and create a tailored game plan to fit your individual needs. Once you have a tailored game plan, we move to maximizing your cash flow as well as your credit. To finish off, we'll dive into each investment opportunity and show you how to pick the best one that fits your lifestyle. If you are willing to go through all of the steps and actually act on your game plan, I know this will shorten your financial learning curve and you will start to get ahead in life. Once you start building a little momentum, it's that much easier to keep improving. To start off this first section, we will discuss some common money-related issues that are prevalent in America. If anything mentioned rings true to you, just realize that these things are mentioned only to help. Similar to Planet Fitness, this is a judgment-free zone, except you do not have to sweat to do it right. Nothing brought up is an attack on anyone's character, but are only brought up as to raise awareness to our decisions, especially those made without conscious thought. Once you become aware, you can take full control of your life. First issue that we look at is Americans suck at saving. As of August 2017, according to Career Builder, 78% of full-time workers say they live paycheck to paycheck. This is up 3% from last year alone. It also states that up to 10% of 6-figure earners can't make ends meet. Do you think that 3 out of 4 Americans planned on living paycheck to paycheck? Probably not. Life happens whether or not you plan for it. Most of America walks on eggshells without a safety net. Did you know that out of $2 billion GoFundMe has raised, $930 million was raised just to help pay for people's medical expenses? What happens when you live paycheck to paycheck and then you have a medical emergency or a car breaks down? Do you have a backup plan? The next issue is overconsumption. Warren Buffett says that if you always buy stuff that you don't need, eventually you will have to sell the things that you do need. Why do you think most people have yard sales? Is it because they want to get rid of stuff at pennies on the dollar? Or is it because they're strapped for cash and they need to sell the items quickly? From the daily Starbucks run to the $1,000 shiny stones marketed as the equivalent of love, how we spend our money becomes our lifestyle. Debt allows us to buy things before we can afford them and gets us caught up in the looking the part but not playing the part, mainly to impress other people. There are too many people in America that are willing to buy $200 Jordans on a minimum wage budget. Why? That's like a week of your hard-earned labor and you trade it for a pair of shoes. Doesn't it make more sense to live within our means now so that we can buy cash-flowing assets that increase our means in the future? Then once we have assets, we can afford anything we ever want and more because we truly have the means to do so. In our capitalistic society, there will always be a new cool invention, a new style, or a new gadget. Commercials and advertisements tell us that buying their stuff will make us happy, when in reality, it's just to make the corporations rich and to make us always wanting more. The reason more money by itself is not the solution is because studies have found that after our basic needs, like food, water, and shelter are met, the increase in joy that money provides diminishes to almost nothing. If we do not protect ourselves and our money, it will get gobbled up by whatever new comes along that catches our eyes. Even though these are both big issues in America, they still pale in comparison to the issues that many people around the globe deal with on a daily basis. In America, we have the highest income inequality gap ever in history, yet the irony is that the standard of living of the average citizen is far greater than what millionaires had just 100 years ago. In The Subtle Arts of Not Giving a Fuck, the author Mark Manson puts it simply: problems never go away. They just improve. Warren Buffett's got money problems. The drunk hobo at Quickie Mart has money problems. The only difference is Buffett's problems are better than the hobo's. Life is essentially an endless series of problems. The solution to one problem is merely the creation of the next. Don't hope for a world without problems. There is no such thing. Hope for a world with good problems. For some in America, not having enough shoes in their collection is a problem, while in other parts of the world, having shoes in the first place is a luxury. $1 trillion was spent on Christmas Day alone. And don't get me wrong, the spirit of giving is totally what having and sharing wealth is all about. We live in such an amazing time in history that we aren't starving, and we're in a good enough place in our lives that we can afford to spend money on people that we love and care about. The reason I bring it up is $1 trillion could pay for food and water for every single person on this planet for an entire year. Yet people are still dying from starvation in the United States and around the globe. For this reason, we choose to donate heavily to Feed a Billion and other awesome nonprofits. Imagine if everyone chipped in a little extra to giving to the less fortunate. How good could our world become? Many of us were born into such a prosperous world that we really don't know anything about real suffering. Imagine living in Syria right now. Syrians aren't worried about how annoying their boss is, or how much their teacher sucks, or that Jimmy took Sally to the prom instead of them. They're worried about surviving another day. They're worried about having food, water, or shelter. One of my favorite quotes from Helen Keller is, "Many people know so little about what is beyond their short range of experience. They look within themselves, and then they find nothing. Therefore, they conclude that there is nothing outside of themselves either." If we are always worried about the things that we don't have, we lose sight of all that we do have. The easiest way to prosperity is to stay grateful for all that we have in the present, while at the same time working our butts off to improve our own situation. There are 7.5 billion people on this planet. Let's start thinking beyond just ourselves. It's not about me, it's not about you, it's about us.